Lil Wayne alone, y'all. The album is like this because it's your fault. I'll explain. The Carter 6 is finally here, and boy, y'all got a lot to say about it. We're going to start from the top, and I want to say a couple things before I get into this whole rendition of whether this album is trash or not. First thing I want to say is, for all of the Lil Wayne fans, all of y'all Lil Wayne fans, we're going to stop having the best rapper alive discussion. That's an old debate. Stop having that debate. Stop. That's first and foremost. Secondly, it's a lot of memes going on about this album, and it's a lot to be said. It's a lot of reactions. I watched some of them. Some of them I haven't watched yet. I've listened to the album like about 2 times. So my thoughts about this album is based on more so me listening to the album twice and just giving my opinion. You know, I'm not trying to compare this Carter to the other Carters. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. This Carter is going to sit by itself. This is the long lost child, Carter 6. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. You know, Lil Wayne, you know, he's been off the scene in terms of album-wise for about 2 years or so, 2-3 years or so. He hasn't dropped music as often as we would probably like to, based on how much we adore Lil Wayne. But probably for a couple reasons. You know, probably just because, you know, him having other predecessors, which is Nicki Minaj, which is Drake, you know what I'm saying, that's done their thing, you know what I mean? He got a chance to really kick back, you know what I'm saying? He's getting money from them as well. He got a chance to kick back. And at the same time, you know, it's just one of them things when you have a run like Lil Wayne's, if you're not familiar with Lil Wayne's run from the mixtapes to the albums to his greatness in lyricism, if you haven't seen that run or been alive to witness that run, you missed out on a lot of greatness. The YouTubes won't do it justice. Going back to listening to the albums just won't do it justice on how great he was in that time. But now it's fast forward to now. And at this stage of Lil Wayne's career, it's one of them instances where the fans that you've always had and will always have just want to see new music. They want to hear new music. They want to experience not the Lil Wayne run, but they just want to experience what's coming new from him as an artist. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, it's not a lot of, sorry, hold on. In my opinion, it's not a lot of like expectations for this album. People just want to hear him, you know what I mean? And with this album dropping, I hear a lot of people is saying that it's trash. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people saying that. Am I saying that? Stay tuned. I'll give my opinion. But one thing I can say about this album is lyricism will always be elite for Lil Wayne. It don't matter when he's rapping. The bars is going to be on point. On this album, the bars are on point. He did his job. Lil Wayne did his job. He did what he always do, which is elite lyricism. Bars, metaphors, double entendres. He did what he was supposed to do as an artist. There's other elements about this album that we'll get into that's not favorable to the people. You know what I mean? And for me being a producer and an engineer and working on, you know, different projects as a whole, you have to understand that working on a full project is a real thing. There's people in place for that. There's producers in place, there's engineers, there's A&Rs, There's musicians. There's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of moving parts to making a great album. The cohesiveness, the blend, the curation, the features, the titles of the songs. There's so many elements to it. What mental state is the artist in, and are you making the music that is relative to today's time? I'm going to say that again. Are you making music that's relative to today's time? Now, this is the reason why I say it's the fans' fault. Let me get right into that. We'll get into the other production elements later. I'm saying it's the fans' fault because of how people receive music. Yes, do we have streaming platforms? Yes. Do we have social media? Yes. But remember, these are pieces of technology that reflects how people consume music, but also what they do with the music. Beforehand, it was CDs, DVDs, sorry, not DVDs, cassette tapes, CDs. Before that, it was vinyl. You know what I mean? Those audio mediums were made to consume music in someone's personal setting. The Walkman. Put on the Walkman, listen to it right in your ears. Vinyl, you got a record player at home. You're playing it in the confines of your home. When you're cleaning the house, when you have an event going on, a housewarming or whatnot, they playing a record player. You know what I mean? Down to the cassette tape, with the Walkman. Pop it in, play it. Cassette decks in the car, play it in the car. And that was really the real era where you got a chance to play it in the car and bang it and, with subwoofers and tweeters, like, you know what I mean? Then with the CDs, same concept. I remember I used to have the actual big CD booklet where you should just flip the page and just find the CD that you want, pop it in the car, and the CD player in the car, and jam. When that album done, you take out the CD, put in another one. You know what I mean? Now we get to streaming, where the music is accessible even more. We're not going to talk about how much people get paid for streaming. That's not what this video is for. But the consumption of music, in my opinion, is at an all-time high. But for what reason? For what reason? That's the key. This is where the Carter 6 falls short. It's because, in my opinion, I think that the Carter 6 is chasing the concept of 30-second, 10-second, 60-second moments. The Carter 6 has moments. It's not a cohesive body of work. To be honest, a lot of the tracks, they sound vastly different and they don't sound like it's meant to be on the same album. They don't sound like that. But in today's era, the question is, who cares if it's cohesive? Yeah, people, when they consume these albums for the past decade, when they consume albums, the great albums that are not marketed as much, they're talked about a little bit, and then by a week and a half, nobody talks about it. Hopefully you have one record that can sit on TikTok so people can continue to stream it. Or there's an album that's heavily, promoted and marketed, that people love, that they can constantly play it in their cars while they're working out, whatever the case may be. But still, the most popular medium is social media, is the TikToks, is the Instagrams. That's how people consume. People consume music to make content. Fans consume music to make content. They're listening for records that they can use in their content when they posting something funny, when they posting something serious, when they posting something about their life. That's what they're looking for when they're listening to an album like the Carter Six. They're not listening to the album for the cohesiveness of the entire album. They're trying to figure out if they can take this 30 seconds of this song and put it on their Instagram or their TikTok or their Snapchat. That's the problem. You're not consuming the music so you can do your homework too if you're a college student. You're not consuming the music so you can work out with it. You're not consuming the music to, brighten your day or get you motivated like how Young Jeezy's Thug Motivation would do. To motivate you to get up and get some money. They're not consuming the music for that. Not today's music. They're not consuming the music because they got 12s in the trunk and they know this finna beat. Some of these songs are not even engineered the same. It's not even engineered with the intention of it being played, with 12s in the trunk. Because that's a real thing. Engineers used to engineer songs with the intentions of having tweeters, with the intentions of having large, what they call boomer systems back in the day. Car stereo systems. It's being engineered so you can play it in your Apple AirPods. It's being engineered so you can play it on the streaming services. So people are consuming music in a different context. Two hottest records right now in hip hop. Hit me in the comments if I'm lying. Hit me in the comments if I'm lying. The two hottest hip hop records are out right now. Number one, Rob 49. What the Helly? Follow me. Rob 49, What the Helly? The song goes, no real lyricism. The song goes, what the hell? What the helly? What the helly on? What the helly burden? And so on and so forth. No lyricism. No lyricism. Just fun sayings. But guess what? It's going. It's streaming like crazy. Everybody love it. Everybody love it. It's now getting played NBA games. It's getting synced. They love the record. Y'all want to hold Lil Wayne to this high standard of the Carter Six gotta be this great body of work. It gotta be cohesive. The curation gotta be stellar. It gotta be the greatest. But y'all streaming what the hell, what the helly? No disrespect to Rob 49. Do what you do. No disrespect to you. But I'm saying for the fans, yes, the fans, it's your fault. If you're going to hold Rob 49 to what the hell, what the helly, but hold Lil Wayne to this high, you got to make the greatest album in the world standard, it's a problem there. Because in my opinion, I think Lil Wayne and his team, they were going for, we're going to give them a couple of records that really feel like the old Carters, but then we also going to give them different sounds and different types of music on this album that could possibly be streamed for 30 seconds on TikTok and Snapchat. We're going to give them some little moments. That Peanuts to an Elephant record, that sound like some man, that sound like a record that's going to get memed up. It's probably getting memed up right now as we speak. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? In today's time, it's a good thing. You know why? It's because anything that get memed up is considered some level of viral, which is considered some level of success. Whether it's bad or good, It got legs, so it works. I hear some of my friends, they say the album is trash. It's your fault too. The fans, it's your fault. Y'all did this. And y'all be trying to blame it on the streaming service. Y'all be trying to blame it on the social media. Oh, they keep feeding this bullshit. No, you keep indulging in the bullshit. You keep indulging in the bullshit. If you're a real one, you'll keep listening to what I'm saying. If you're a real one. I blame myself too. I blame myself too. As much as I listen to all my hardcore gutter, hip hop, boom bap and whatnot, I'll be on TikTok scrolling and I'll be laughing. And as I'm laughing to these what the hellies, those streams is going up in number. So I blame myself too. When I say fans, it's your fault. I'm a fan too. So it's my fault too. If you're a real one, you'll admit it's your fault. You didn't take records like The Alchemist, records like Larry June, records like who else? Records like Griselda. You didn't take real hip hop records and make TikTok videos out of them. Nah, y'all didn't do that. Y'all didn't do that. Y'all take records that don't even sound like cohesive hip hop, and y'all make that popular. That's what y'all do. So when somebody like Lil Wayne reacclimates himself back into the industry and wants to release an album, his team, they're taking notes of that. They're taking notes of, yo, all we need is a viral moment and it's going to work out. All we need is a little viral moment, good or bad, it don't matter, it's going to work out. So they gave you a bunch of put together music, even though it sounds like, to be honest, I'm not going to say put together music. I'm going to say it sounds like he was going through different spurts in his recording process over the years, and he found records that he did, like, okay, this rock record I did, a couple years back in this time frame, I'm gonna pick that. Then I'm gonna do a hip hop record from this time where I was recording. They were putting together records from his catalog of him recording these type of records at that time. But what y'all don't realize, and I could be wrong, but what y'all don't realize is Lil Wayne has always been a creative person that has always tried something new. That's what he do. Lil Wayne tries stuff new. That's what he does. The record, How to Love. There's a song on here where he has a guitar and he's rapping to the guitar. It sounds like How to Love. There's a song on here that's quirky and crazy. It sounds like 6 foot, 7 foot. He's always giving you something unique that you may not have known. He's doing something unique at the moment. You just like it. The difference with it now is you may not like it now because if it doesn't equate to being a viral TikTok moment, then in people's eyes, it's not a dope song. If it doesn't equate to being attractive to make a TikTok story out of, it's not considered a dope song. And to be honest with you, back in my hip hop days, I'm going to say that. I'm not going to say I'm old, but I will say I'm experienced. Back in my, my particular time, when you were a whack artist or made whack music, you got no support. You got absolutely no support. When you're whack and they don't like your music, you don't get no support. You might as well hang it up. But when you're a dope artist, when you're fire, you get all the support. When you fire, they want more music. They're supporting, they buying, they coming to the shows. That's what it is. Unfortunately, in 2025, and probably for the past couple of years, probably a decade, if you whack, you got a chance. If you whack, it still might be something there. To be honest, if you're whack, you might be number one on the charts. That's how it is now. If you're dope, if you're really dope, you'll get pat on the back, and then that's about it. If you're whack, you got more of a chance now if you terrible than if you dope. So I asked the fans, what do you think artists are supposed to do? Do you think they're supposed to work heavily on these cohesive albums and make greatness out these albums? Or are they supposed to do the lucrative thing, which is give you some bullshit until something stick to the wall? What do y'all think they should do? Because I'm pretty sure on this Lil Wayne album, I'm pretty sure the most streamed song is probably the worst song on the album. I could probably bet money on that. The most streamed song is the worst song on the album. You know why? It's because somebody can make content out of it. That's the problem with music. That's the problem with this Carter 6 album. Is the fact that the circumstances of why people play music has changed. I'm sorry, it's true. Shout out to ARP. That's actually his podcast title. I'm sorry, it's true podcast. I watch that podcast a lot, and I appreciate ARP from RBE. You know what I'm saying? Battle rap shit. If you know, you know. But we have to have a real standard of greatness, and we have to support our great artists. That's going to make the great artists want to make great music, if y'all understand what I'm saying. If y'all support the greatness in music, then it makes great artists want to make great music. Kendrick Lamar is not the only great artist making great music. There's a lot more artists out here making great music. You just don't support it. You just don't support it. When you start supporting the great music more, it'll give artists like Lil Wayne more incentive to work harder on his album, to not give you loose records from batch folders. It's going to give him more incentive to really lock in from scratch. It's going to give him more incentive to give you what you want in terms of what he does. Until then, they're going to keep doing records and throwing records against the wall until something sticks, good or bad. That's actually a strategy now. It's throwing something to the wall till it sticks is actually a strategy. It's crazy. Lil Wayne did his thing lyrically on the album. I want to make that clear again. He did his thing. Everything else, the production, the curation, poor choices. I just throw it up to poor choices. I had a conversation with my boy Damo. Shout out to Damo. We had a big ass argument about this shit. Because I was telling him the same thing I'm telling y'all now. It's the fans' fault. Y'all tuning into all the TikTok worthy content in the music and y'all not listening to the real music. So people gonna give y'all bullshit. The artists gonna give y'all bullshit. So I'm talking to him about this, and I'm explaining to him, I'm telling him, artists have to be conscious about the things that they do that's lucrative for them. Regardless of how much of a hip hop head you are, how much of true to the hip hop soil you are, you have to at some point think on a business level and find out what's lucrative and what's beneficial for you to do. And if you have to put out music that's quirky, weird, got some type of different edge to it because the popularity of weird records is getting success or getting traction, then that's what artists will do. Are they wrong for it? Are they wrong for it for trying to go with what's going on in the times? Now you can say for somebody like Lil Wayne that's been in the game for years that he don't have to change who he is or what he does, but that's not true. The name of the game in the music business is to be successful. To be successful, to have moments, to have things that people can remember. Unfortunately, all of the memorable stuff that we get is either rap battles or funny ass songs. So where do we go from here? I was also explaining that at the end of the day, if you're an artist in this game, you decide how you want to play and dance in this industry. You decide. There's artists out there that decide not to play with the antics and do all the extra bullshit and just stick to their hip hop selves. Whether that works for them or not is totally up to how hard they work, the stars aligning, and things like that. But it's important to remember that we all contribute to this thing called hip hop. All of us. The fans, the producers, the musicians, the artists, the labels. We all contribute to this. All of us. And in this whole world, no matter what tier you on, you play an important role in the continuance of our culture. This Carter 6, in my opinion, is a representation of when you're trying to get some type of results in modern times, but you do it the wrong way. Regardless of what people want to say about the album, it's dope, it's trash, it's whatever, we can all agree that it's a misrepresentation of what hip hop is supposed to be. It's a misrepresentation of how to grow, of how to display your music, of how to connect with your team and put out stellar work. It is a misrepresentation of that. And we all need to be held accountable. I'm sorry. All of us. Me, you, Lil Wayne, his team, we all need to be held accountable. Because as the fans, we still have to demand the best out of the artists. And as the artists, they have to demand from their team the best out of them, and the team has to deliver. It's not just one person in there making all the music. Lil Wayne got a whole squad, so y'all got to deliver. I hope, and I'm just going in the future, I hope Carter 7, if he makes a Carter 7, is the redemption of Carter 6. But I do hope that you don't make another Carter until you explore some other types of titles. Don't touch the Carter no more until you're ready to come back for what that really is. Please. Please. Lil Wayne, you're a legend. Don't mess up your legacy by doing what people appreciate now. Because all of this stuff is going to die out and we're going to get back to the real hip hop shit. Trust me. It happens all the time. Don't worry about this TikTok world and this social media world and this streaming for playlist world, because some of those records on that album could just go straight on a playlist. It don't have to sit on, a whole album. People just pick songs for playlists. People just pick songs for sync. People just pick songs to go on social media. That's how the world is now. But you don't have to conform to that, is what I'm saying. You don't have to conform to that. Do what you do. Make the Carters, these albums, at least this Carter series, make these albums as cohesive and as fire as you possibly can, because this is your legacy. And people question what's better, your mixtapes, or your albums. So if people believe that the Carter 6 is a dud and it's not it, we got to look at ourselves too. We can react to Lil Wayne, we can react to the music, but we also got to look at ourselves of how we consume music and make that change. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this Carter 6 album. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think about me blaming you guys for the reason why people consume music that's just unpleasant in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I want to talk about this because I'm going to be having conversations with a lot of people about this, and I want to have a conversation with y'all. So leave it in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'm there. You already know what it is. Workload.